Okay, so I'm supposed to be studying now, but I got really bored and I'm like the biggest procrastinator ever, so I'm just not stressed enough yet to start studying and really kick it into high gears, maybe at a medium gear. Give it a couple of days and you'll see the stress, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make granola. So I found a recipe online and here, and it's got all these ingredients that I don't have. I have some of it, but I have like the base for granola, but like I don't have pumpkin seeds, I don't have flax seeds, and all this stuff that it says that I need. So I'm just gonna use what I have at home. So let me show you. What I have is the spices, cinnamon, I got some nutmeg, cardamom, and some ginger because I love a little bit of spice. I have coconut oil, which is both flavored, well it tastes like coconut, and unflavored. And I have some raisins. I have these coconut chips that are salted with sea salt, which is fine because the recipe calls for sea salt anyway, but I'm just gonna skip that because these are salted. And I have the pistachios, which are also salted, so I think that's enough salt. I have chia seeds. Then it says I need honey, but I don't have honey, but I have syrup, golden syrup. So I'm just gonna take that, maybe mix it with some juice, because another recipe I saw you could use concentrate from like apple juice, and I don't have that either, but I have this. So I'm gonna try and mix that out, and then we'll see what happens. Oats. And I have some sunflower seeds. And I have some sunflower seeds that have already been toasted from yesterday. So I think I'm gonna add that after I toasted the granola. And the nuts I'm also gonna add after I toasted the granola because they're already toasted and salted. So that will come later. And the raisins in the end so they don't get burnt. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start with putting some oats in a bowl. So what I put in here was 4 deciliters of oats, 40 grams of sunflower seeds, and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. So now I'm going to add the spices, which is 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, half a tablespoon of cardamom, half of a pinch, I think is the American equivalent, of ginger, and half a pinch of muscat. And I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to mix it all together. Okay, so now this is all mixed up thoroughly, and you may have noticed that there were some ingredients that I left out. That's because they're already toasted and I don't want to toast them twice. So it's the sunflower seeds, the pistachios, and the coconut. But if you have those untoasted, like natural or raw, then you should toast them with your granola. So over here I have the syrup and the coconut oil heating up together. I just want to melt the coconut oil so I can mix it with the dry ingredients later. So I have about a tablespoon of coconut oil and half a deciliter of syrup. But if you have honey or maybe maple syrup, which has a really nice caramelly flavor, you could use that instead. And I know that maple syrup has a lower glycemic, I think it's called, index. So you won't get the same sugar rush from maple syrup, but still get the sweetness and also that kind of smoky flavor, which is really nice. But I didn't have that, so I have golden syrup and coconut oil in here, and I'm just heating it on a low heat. So now that the coconut oil has melted, I'm gonna mix it into the dry ingredients. Give that a little mix. Don't you just love one-handed cooking? So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ingredients I have in here. So oats are really great because they're like high in fiber. So that's going to keep you satiated longer. And then I have sunflower seeds, which are pretty high in iron. And that's good for your blood. Then I also have chia seeds in here, which are high in protein and high in fat. And I only took 2 tablespoons, which I think is the daily recommended dose. But since it's mixed out, I mean, I'm not going to eat this whole bowl in one day. But even if I did, I would still only get the daily recommended dose of chia seeds. So you shouldn't have too much chia seeds because they're so high in fat, but they're really good for you. They're like a super seed. So as if through the power of magic, I have a baking sheet here now aligned with some parchment paper. So I'm gonna pour the granola mixture onto the parchment. So you wanna distribute this quite evenly so that it gets evenly toasted. Really wish I had a tripod right now, because then you could probably see this better and I could use both my hands, but it's okay. We'll get here eventually. I ordered one from Wish, and as we all know, Wish is not the fastest, so probably get here in a couple of months, or maybe a month or so. So maybe next month's vlog will be better. Apparently it's really easy to make granola because you only need some sort of sugar and some oil, and then you need a base. So I've used oats as a base, but you could use whatever you want. And you can like puffed rice, or I don't know, whatever you like, I guess. And some sort of nuts or some seeds and some dried fruits, and then you're golden. Just into the oven and toast it. Okay, so the oven is on. I preheated it to 170. So I'm just gonna put the granola in, and I think it's gonna be in there for about 20 minutes, and then we'll check back when it's done. Now the granola is done and it's cooled down a little bit, so I put it in a bowl. And over here we have the rest of the ingredients for the granola. So we have about 1 deciliter of raisins, and we also have about 40 grams of coconut that I already chopped up, and we have some pistachios, about half a deciliter, and we also have a little bit of sunflower seeds that we toasted yesterday that were left over. So now we're going to mix them together, and we're going to do some more one-handed cooking. Okay, so the granola is done now. So we're gonna put it in a little bowl so it will keep fresh. Like so. And I wouldn't recommend eating a whole bowl of granola because there's quite a bit of sugar in here, since we had syrup in it before we toasted it, and also from the fruits. There's also quite a bit of fat from the nuts and the coconuts, so maybe just stick to using it as a topping for your breakfast, maybe a smoothie bowl or your yogurt or whatever you like to eat for breakfast. And now the granola is done.